Hey there folks, and welcome to the Amazing Brick Network. My name's Tori Favreau. We are building 75301. That is Luke Skywalker's X-Wing fighter, and I was really keen to get this. The set was released on January the 1st this year and was part of the massive haul that I got at the time. So we're going to be building this together. Now there are 4 minifigures in this set, and we'll uncover them as we do the build. Initially though, we're going to be doing Luke Skywalker and R2-D2, and the R2 in this particular set has got a really nice silver print to him. I always love me some X-Wing fighters. I've actually got Luke Skywalker in his X-Wing tattooed on me as a Lego figure. But my friend Paul, who did the tattoo, he actually left the hand off deliberately, of course. But just as a little homage to The Empire Strikes Back, which is one of my favorite Star Wars movies. What do you guys prefer with your Star Wars movies? I always found when I was younger, I really did enjoy like Return of the Jedi when I was a kid. Now, I'm old enough to have been around when these actually came out. But yeah, I loved the Ewoks back then. And as I became an adult, though I really, even now at 48, haven't achieved that. I find I really like the storytelling in Empire Strikes Back, and also I adored the standalone story Rogue One. It was absolutely awesome. Now we are building the exterior of the interior, the chassis of the X-Wing, just building the shape, and there was some interesting techniques here with the hinge bricks that we were using. I thought that came together really, really nicely. At first I was like, goodness me, is this going to make a proper shape? But yeah, lo and behold, it did. Some of the bricks I found in this set, at least in mine, you can see them actually there. They're warped. Now, I don't know how they got bent, but there was quite a few that had a slight bend. It wasn't any intent of the design. I have not seen Lego bricks very often warp when I have bought them. If you have, please throw a comment below. And while you're doing it, if you can throw a subscribe and a like, I would really, really appreciate that, so as we can explore the world of Lego together as these sets come out and we make them. Now, you're starting to recognize this is taking shape here. It's the general cockpit and the front of the ship. And the X-Wing would hands down be my favorite Star Wars vehicle. Followed, I would say, shortly thereafter by the Rebel Snowspeeder, which I think looks utterly incredible. I never had the chance to get the UCS one, the Ultimate Collector Series one. I really wish I had. But this is a great alternative. Now, this little build here retails for about $80 Australian, and it's a satisfying enough build. It took an hour and a half to make, and I've just crammed it down to the 14-minute mark. So as you guys can see the individual bits as they're going on here, without it being too much of a blur. And we will have, as always, some Hollywood quality special effects. See, I couldn't even make my voice sound special effect-ish, but nonetheless, we will deliver those things. So there's the general shape of the front of the ship here, and we're just getting on to building the back area and getting the framework ready for the X-Wing, the actual wings themselves. And it was really well put together. If you notice there, I actually did make Leia General Dodonna. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, folks, because I'm wrong most of the time. I don't think that the General's been made before as a minifigure, but at least I have got hundreds of Star Wars minifigures, and I never had this one. So I might be wrong, but I might just be right. But in any case, the General's a pretty cool figure with his receding hairline. And of course, we've got the Princess there with the snub-nosed blaster, and she looks pretty amazing as always. So if you are in the market to get those figures, it's a pretty cool way of doing it, and also getting a fantastic Star Wars vehicle, which is something that we should always aim for in our lives. This area here with the Technic pins was a little bit of a laborious process. Younger builders may need help from their parents because it isn't very straightforward and it is somewhat complex. So just be aware of that when you are getting into it, okay? Because it is a good time, but it may be a time that requires some assistance, or at least very, very careful watching of the instructions as you are going through. Because if you put one of these pins in the wrong place, then the wings of the X-Wing won't extend up into their attack foils, and that would be a crying shame, because that's one of the beauties of that ship, and let's face it, that's why it's called an X-Wing. Now, those parts were set aside there because you do make other parts that now need to click into the basic framework that we've created. And so that does take a little bit of time. There's a lot of like reversing the bricks around and a lot of repetition here. So you will make the same things on both sides. You know how Lego tends to be quite symmetrical with its builds. But essentially there we do get a working, there you go. Hopefully you saw that extend. You didn't look away for 2 seconds. But yeah, this is the area that will make the X-Wing into a functional fighter. And by that, I don't mean it's going to start going around shooting things, though there are, on the wings themselves, there are the spring mechanisms to fire little Lego elements. So I'll show you that shortly. The set didn't have too many stickers, which I really appreciated. I'm not a fan of stickers. I understand they do it for cost reasons, but I just think some sets really should have printed, and I'm a big fan of when that does occur. It does surprise me, though, some of the ones, the sets that Lego does decide to include a printed element with, when there's so many other cooler sets out there that you can just get straight into. And like, I'm sure they're going to sell heaps of an X-Wing. In fact, I know at the moment it's not available on the Lego Australia side in any case. Neither is the TIE Fighter. But rest assured, the Amazing Brick Network, we do have both of them, folks. So you and I are going to be building the TIE Fighter together at a time very, very soon. Okay, so there's the main body of it all set up there. And just doing some of the side pieces here, which I did fiddle around with a little bit. I wasn't sure that I'd actually match them all up properly. More stickers again. There we go. Nice and easy. I don't mind the larger stickers. I'm not fastidious about my sticker placement. And I think it is primarily, and it's rather stupid, but I do think it is primarily because they actually annoy me. And I was actually thinking I had the placement wrong there. And I did. That flat tile piece needed to be moved down. There we go. It's all working now, Tori. Good boy, good boy. And just a little strengthening piece there for the actual undercarriage to make sure that everything holds on nice and tight, which was good because I was worried about that when I was building it. Using the ski elements there, using a little hook piece there to hold that on, and we do have the first leg stand piece of the X-Wing fighter, and getting straight onto the wings. Now, essentially, they were exactly the same the whole way through. You're making 2 of one and 2 of the other, and then popping them on around the ship. But you're doing it diagonally. It's different. You're not just going left, right, left, right. You're doing upper, lower, and it works really well. I did think that the simplicity of the for the cannons there, it looks really cool, and with the little radar dish element to further finish it up, that looks awesome as well. Another sticker is about to go on here. I can't remember if I took it off or not, or if I just totally gangstered it and put it on without. We're all raptly watching here, you know that. That's the second bit there. My apologies. As I said, I just confused myself. The stickers went on the top wings, so no stickers on that part there on the undercarriage. And as you can see, we've got the spring-loaded shooter. I'd forgotten about these because I haven't seen one in a set for some time, so it was nice to know that they are on there. It does add a play element. Once again, it's not like, of course, it's not UCS quality, but this is a great little starting point. And if you did want to sort of greeble some pieces together, I'm sure that you could without too much trouble. So that's just something to be aware of. If you do want to add to this ship to make it a little bit more realistic, there's certainly the opportunity to do so, which I do think was rather cool. These did fit together really nicely. The use of Technic pins there. It was very solid. Like, I had absolutely no issues with the build itself. And I was really enjoying myself the whole time. One, I'm an avid fan of Star Wars, that's for sure. But the actual creation of this set was good. So there you go. This is one of the top wings here. So you do put that onto the slope piece. Said the guy who got that wrong again. It's on one of the flat pieces. Don't follow my instructions, guys. Have a look at the book. It's actually quite clear, this one. Recently, if you don't watch the show regularly, I've been putting together sets that have a lot of brown elements on them, and they are an absolute nightmare to read sometimes. I don't know why. But Lego seems to want to print brown on brown, but then not put a border around it to let you know where the bricks are falling, which is a little bit silly. I mean, it's not a hard thing to correct, but yeah, the latest lot of Lego sets that I have been making, they are lacking that basic just outline showing you where the things are actually meant to be. And I found that rather weird, to be honest with you, because it makes the build a lot more difficult for absolutely no reason. Now we're on to the final wing. And I do think if you have a look at that fighter, it's looking really good. The cockpit is big enough to put Luke inside, and there is an element in there to like grab his legs. There's like a leg element there, or rather would go between his legs. And also there is room for R2-D2 to take his place on board the Starfighter, and it's just perfect. Like, he's got access room if he needs to fix stuff. And of course I'm reading too much into it, but hey, it's Star Wars, and Star Wars, I love you. This area here was pretty cool. Fitting the different elements on there, though, I kept doubting myself because they look as though they're all uneven, but it does fit together really nicely, and it certainly adds a lot of strength to the build, which is really cool as well. These parts here are for the rear of the ship, and they're like part of the exhaust engine part, and these beautiful translucent elements are for like the sort of fire coming out the back of the ship. So it looks really, really neat. You'll be able to see it in just a moment when I do put it on, but they were fun to make. I thought they looked really cool, and just the general design was everything I was hoping for in an X-Wing set that what didn't cost an absolute mint. So we'll pop those on here, and we're going to load the spring-loaded gun and take a quick look at that because, you know, we need Hollywood, we need special effects. Here we go. I told you it wouldn't get any better than that, seriously. What a journey indeed. But, like any good journey, these things do eventually come to an end. So we'll just have a look at there. The button push at the top, if hopefully you noticed that there. It was really hard. It's actually probably going to be too hard for some little kids to open up those foils. And unfortunately, as soon as you do place the ship down, those foils do close back up, as they would if the ship was a real ship. And we'll just pop Luke into the cockpit there. You would need to make some sort of little stand or display there for those foils to stay open. And otherwise, though, this is a really good set. I certainly do recommend it. I do thoroughly appreciate the fact that you guys took time out of your busy schedule to have a look at this. Here's some still shots of the set there. So as you can see, it's a beautiful big ship. It's pretty much to minifigure scale, which I certainly love there. And there's going to be so much play factor for this. This is going to be fun for Star Wars collectors and also great fun for kids who want to fly a starship around the lounge room. Till next time, thank you so much for watching. Hit that subscribe and I'll see you next episode. Happy building.